Hello and welcome to another edition of Mailbag. What is Mailbag? Well, Mailbag is a feature of the channel where you guys leave lots of comments on the channel and I attempt to answer those comments, or if I can't answer those comments, I throw it out to you guys who have more knowledge on some of this stuff than I do. So let's get into the first mailbag of this session. Remember, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Go over to Instagram and follow me there. Go over to Facebook, follow me there. That's where the normal notices are. And consider becoming a Patreon. Next comment or question comes from Heleno in response to Roland MX-1 confused by modes Ensoniq EPS 16 Plus making clicking noises. This was a mailbag video I did in October 2023, and Helena writes, can I connect a guitar directly to an MX-1's audio input? And again, there is a short answer to this. The answer is yes, you can connect a guitar to the MX-1 audio input. However, it's probably not recommended to do it directly. And the reason for this is that the MX-1 is the native signal from a guitar is pretty much way below that of a pretty much below that the MX-1 is expecting. The guitar output is higher than a mic input, but it's lower than a line input. So you need something to basically bring that guitar input up to a line input, which is what the MX-1 is expecting. The other thing is that a guitar typically has quite a high impedance because of the way that the internal guts of a guitar are actually put together. So that will stop you really getting the right level of output from your guitar, unless it's a guitar that's got some sort of amplification. So some electric guitars are just pickups, volume control, maybe a pickup switch that allows you to select where the signals come from, front pickup, back pickup, both pickups, whatever it happens to be, and then straight out the cable to the amplifier. Other guitars, some more modern guitars, have a little bit more electronic circuitry in them, and they actually have some sort of preamp in the guitar which actually boosts the signal up and changes the impedance of the signal so it can work directly with a desk. But either way, I would turn around and say you probably want to put some sort of device in between your desk and the guitar, because for two reasons. Number one, it boosts the signal. Number two, it protects the desk if the guitar decides to do something a bit stupid. Now, you'll see a number of people tell you that you need to get an active DI device. DI stands for direct injection. But while the active DI device allows you to lift the signal, it's really designed for a bit of a different purpose. What I would be looking for if you were going to do this, if you haven't got a guitar that's got some sort of preamp device built into it, and pretty much most guitars don't have a preamp device built into them, so read that into that what you will. What you really are looking for is some sort of decent quality preamp, and these are specifically designed to lift the signal of a guitar to a line level, and of course come in a variety of price tags. The other thing to note is that on many preamps they also add in tonal quality, so you can sort of switch in effectively you can say, well, I want this preamp but I want it to sound like a Marshall, and you press a button and bang, it starts to sort of modify the signal to give you that sort of kind of Marshall-ish sound or a Vox-ish sound. So you need to be careful that whether you want the thing actually running dry, as in what is the guitar producing, and you want that going into the desk, or you want that going into your door, and then you want to do your kind of Marshallist or Voxish stuff in the door, which is what a lot of engineers want to do, as opposed to actually do it on the signal coming out, which is what a lot of guitar players and keyboard players like to do. And that's when you get into the sort of what I used to call the control room punch-up. But that's a different set of stories. Anyway, if you're going to go and buy a preamp, expect to pay about £100 to get the job done, £300 to £400 for some sort of multi-function preamp that gives you a little bit, a few more bells and whistles. But I hope that really explains that. You know, it's the same reason why you need a preamp on a mic if you want to run it into a desk. I mean, a desk will take a mic input if you put it into the right slot, but some desks, you know, don't take mic inputs, and therefore you need something to lift the mic input up to give it the right signal level that the desk can understand. Same with the guitar. Next common question comes from Winter ZV1DV. Winter writes, in response to Roland released the Roland Fantom EX upgrade and SMR I did in November 2023. What does better mean? Between Fantom and Montage, Fantom has a huge legacy of Roland's subtractive synthesis, and Yamaha has an ANX and an FMX engine. Fantom has clip and TR record sequencers. Montage has QY style sequencing. Fantom has more subs in terms of outs. Montage has a super knob to control dozens of parameters, although the synth through the synth at once. It's like saying which is better, a Porsche or a Ferrari. It totally depends on what you and most importantly sonically think. Well, I'm going to answer the Porsche and the Ferrari one, and the answer is Porsche is more practical, but Ferrari is more eye-catching. Anyway, leave disagreements in the comments below. But I think you've hit the nail on the head in the fact that, you know, what do you want to use your keyboard for? You know, and I just used the Porsche and the Ferrari analogy. You know, Ferrari is cool, Porsche is practical. The same is with keyboards. In my mind, and seeing various demonstrations of the synth, if you are composing and working in a studio, I think the Roland Fantom EX possibly tips the angle here. Where some of its limitations don't really matter too much. Things like the polyphony limitation, and you want access to those legacy instrument sounds and instruments that you can't get anywhere else. But I think for stage work, I think the Yamaha Montage has it between the two instruments. That's my personal view at the moment. If you're not in the Kronos camp and you're playing live, I think you're in the Montage camp, and I think if you're in the studio, I think you're in the Fantom camp. That's what I feel at the moment. That's where I think things are. But you know, lots of other people have different views.